Hello, this is Larry from Real Hi-Fi Help. I thought about making this video here revealing one of my personal cable experiments. I think that this is sort of an unspoken rule in hi-fi, which I find to be very interesting. I have drawn up a plug here, earth plus minus. We're basically talking about something like this. And let me just zoom out a bit. I've got this thing on here so it makes it a bit more easy to read. Let's do this. So I feel that the less thread that you have and the thinner thread that you have on the plus pole, the weaker and the more noisy sound you get. But it just kind of is more emotional, more vibrating. It's just a certain type of fineness connected with that. And here, number 2 point is that the opposite rule applies. So when you get a thicker thread and you have more thread, it just evolves more around the macro dynamic. So typically when you have cables that are, have threads that are too thick, they kind of park the sound. They seem a bit tame, perhaps a bit mechanical, a bit two-dimensional. Yeah, those are the things that I have heard, and many of my friends have also agreed with me. And I just wanted to kind of end with, if you have too much physical thread in the plus and the minus, the more the flow is going to get mechanical and hammered through. I remember making a very short cable, and it had like a ridiculous amount of these. I think like 3 of these on the minus and only 1 on the plus. And the fact that it was not only just short, but that there were so many cables on it, it somehow it makes the music disappear, and it just goes like doof, 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 just hammers the signal through when you have so much metal going from one plug to another. I just thought that was interesting thing to reveal. And I generally find that just having a slightly less thread on the plus and a bit more on the minus usually gives a musical combination that is a bit better, so that you're kind of looking past the faults of the thread, the cable, the plugs, everything. It kind of, I would say, compensates in a good way, in a high level way, so you can get away with a construction that isn't necessarily so high quality. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys. I found that unspoken rule kind of funny. Just putting a lot of metal on the plus pole just, to me, generally brings a flow that's, too much, too much. And yeah, I mentioned this in a previous video. I feel that the industry just generally puts a bit too much thread and a bit too thick a thread on the plus. And I also want to say that just to get into a slightly different sub, what's it called? Subject. That is that if you have one type of thread here and a different type of thread here, let's just say that it's the same type of thread, it's just in different thicknesses. So this is, let's just say 0.2 millimeter thick, and over here in the minus we have 0.4 or 5 millimeters thick. That also affects the sound. And I find that when you do all of these small tricks on the power chords, which manufacturers have recognized is, helping the sound, it, even though you haven't changed the thread, you haven't changed the plastic, you haven't changed the construction really, using the same thread in different thickness on the plus and minus pole, it actually does somehow create a sound that is more sophisticated, where you mentally can't, at least as fast, see through the sound. So if it's a bad sound, it usually takes a longer time because there's more stuff going on. It just has, to some degree, changed the flow of the music, of the detail. And I usually find that to be a very positive thing. So yeah, usually the more expensive cables you get, the more that they have different thicknesses. Even on the plus poles, you might have like 2 or 3 different thicknesses here of the same thread, and then 2 or 3 or 5 other thicknesses here on the minus thread. I find that very interesting. And I find that just generally it can make pretty simple, even hardware store like cables sound, go from a very tame, boring type of sound to something that starts to get a bit more interesting. So I just wanted to share that with you guys to help you guys on your journey to making your own cables, or just, researching whatever is out there that you would perhaps like to try in your own system. So yeah, that's me logging off. Have a nice day.